AV Shop Talk, Episode 5.
Podcasting from Boston, Massachusetts and Los Angeles, California, this is AV Shop Talk. Covering the latest audiovisual trends and emerging technologies, this is where the AV pros come to talk shop. With your hosts, Nate Schneider and Jason Griffin.
Welcome to another episode of AV Shop Talk. My name is Nate, and my colleague Jason, co-host over there in the Los Angeles region, is also on the line. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing great, Nate. How are you?
I am doing well, but I did happen to miss the last interview we recorded. And so I hear you had a chat with somebody from Crestron. Is that correct?
I did, yeah. I got to sit down with Dave Silberstein of Crestron, and he is the Director of Commercial Marketing for Crestron. And we kind of talked Infocomm, and we touched on some of the things that Crestron is going to be focusing on and unveiling at the upcoming show.
Ooh, sounds interesting. Yeah, the Infocomm show is less than a month away now, so that is going to be coming up very rapidly. And I even hear that you mentioned 4K in integrated operating rooms, and you did it without me.
Yeah, it was funny. I was kind of laughing when it came up because it would have been so perfect to have you on there to kind of touch on that topic. But yeah, it did come up. We were talking a little bit about 4K in general and some of the different like vertical markets that 4K is really penetrating into and becoming very prevalent in. Mm-hmm. And he brought up the specific example of healthcare and said when you're in an operating room, 4K, it's not a luxury or a nice thing to have like it is for me in residential. It's very essential and extremely important. So we touched on that a little bit, but I was very sorry that you couldn't be there to engage in that part of the conversation.
Yeah, sounds like that was right up my alley. And speaking of integrated operating rooms, it's a very niche market. I mean, I kind of call it a niche within a niche, because the AV industry is not all that big. And then you got commercial, and then within commercial you've got medical, and then you've got integrated operating rooms within medical. So it's like
it's like a niche within a niche within a niche.
Yeah, it's one of those things, but it's actually very rewarding. And there was a story that we heard via email this week, back at the office. So I don't actually get out into the field all that much. But every once in a while we'll get some positive feedback from a client that was very happy. And this specific story was actually kind of touching, actually tear-jerking in a way. I mean, maybe it's just because I have a daughter now, but I'm just like a big marshmallow. So anyway, so we just went live with one of these big hospitals and a whole set of OR suites. And there was a story that was told by one of the guys out in the field, and there was apparently they got this feedback from one of the nurses. Apparently there was like an 8-year-old boy with a brain tumor. Now those are two words you should never, 8-year-old boy and brain tumor should never be in the same sentence. So that's why it's kind of makes me a little bit emotional. But apparently he was very upset going into surgery. But one of the nurses was actually able to pull up a clip from Frozen on the surgical field displays.
Oh, wow.
And that really calmed the boy down and, got him ready for surgery. And he was apparently singing the songs and everything as he was, going under anesthesia and everything. Mm-hmm. So kind of a cool story to be a part of, working in the integrated OR. You definitely get a different sense of, your work being, feeling a sense of reward for your accomplishments, and you hear stories like that and you're like, yeah, that's why I do this, makes it awesome.
I think that's great. I think anybody working in AV or any sort of technological field, it's easy to kind of get in the weeds sometimes, and you're always kind of trying to wrap your head around the problem that's in front of you, and we know that there's always plenty of those, but when you can have that sort of experience that kind of rejuvenates you or makes you feel like you really did something that made an impact and a difference for somebody, I think that's awesome. So, it just goes to show that it's not all just fun and gadgets. It actually, what we do as systems integrators and as audiovisual guys can actually be hugely important.
Yeah, so that was just a kind of cool little tidbit story from the field this week, and definitely awesome to hear things like that.
Yeah, so just to circle back to the Crestron conversation, we talked a lot about 4K, a lot about DM. There sounds like going to be showing some really cool things out there for the show. So, you being there, you'll definitely have to stop by and check it out and let me know what you think. Let me know how their booth is. We also talked about a couple other topics, unified communication or the UC market, as some people call it. We touched on that and sort of Crestron's positioning in that market, and as well as education and the idea of this, collaborative classroom and kind of group working spaces and that sort of thing. So it was very, it was an interesting conversation.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to hearing it. And I think with that said, we should dive right into the interview.
Yep, let's do it.
AV Shop Talk.
All right, I'm pleased to welcome to the show Dave Silberstein of Crestron. Dave, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We're definitely happy to have you on the show. My partner, Nate, who usually sits in on the interviews with me, wasn't able to make it today. But you and I we're just going to kind of chat Infocomm. Obviously, it's an exciting time right now with the show coming up. So before we jump into that, though, why don't you just give our listeners a brief introduction of yourself, what your title is and kind of what your day-to-day is at Crestron.
Oh, well, those are some big things. But the easy part is my title is Director of Commercial Marketing. So I'm the right person to be talking to you about what's going on in Infocomm, that's for sure.
Very good.
My day-to-day responsibilities jump around tremendously. Among other things, they refer to me as the silver-tongued one. So I do a lot of speaking at a lot of these trade shows and other engagements, and I have a tendency to travel the world and run into people as well. So
great.
I'm sure at least one or two of the people listening to this I've talked to over the years. There's no doubt about that.
So it sounds like we got the right guy on the show then.
Yeah, I've been with Crestron about 17 years, so it's not like I'm a newcomer here or anything.
No, it doesn't sound like it. And this might be a silly question. I'm assuming I know the answer, but you will personally be at Infocomm this year?
Yeah, I was thinking about showing up.
Very good. That's what I figured.
Without a doubt. I'm also teaching a couple of classes there. One is called the New Technology Showcase, which is specifically designed to cover all the new technology we have in our booth in 90 minutes.
Oh, great. Yeah, and I know traditionally Crestron's booth is one of the main attractions there at Infocomm, and I'm assuming that's going to be the case again this year. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I like I was telling you kind of before the interview, I personally won't be able to make it, but would encourage everybody listening, obviously, to stop by the Crestron booth there and check out what you guys have going on. But with all of that said, we can kind of jump in and talk a little bit about that now. So I think, obviously, one of the big topics in all of AV in 2014 is 4K. 4K is huge. You're hearing about it everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. You guys have, kind of a saying behind DM in that it's not 4K ready, it's 4K already, which I think is clever, but maybe you could talk a little bit about what that means and kind of how you feel that Crestron's positioning in terms of 4K moving forward is, maybe better or different from your competitors.
Sure, because I'll give you two things. Certainly, one of the things that we're showing at the booth in particular is going to be 4K content being delivered to all kinds of different displays within all kinds of different environments. The whole concept of 4K already is we have already created 4K switching devices with digital media, 4K transportation with digital media, 4K room boxes for digital media, and those products are shipping and in the marketplace. People are deploying them and have built 4K systems around them. As a matter of fact, just last week I was in a hospital in Sao Paulo, Brazil that was all DM 4K in the operating room.
Wow.
So it's out there, they're building it, they're making it happen, and when you think of the medical industry, if you will, when you're thinking about being in the operating room, the more detail that's on that screen, the higher the resolution, the better the doctor can see. Yeah, I'm all for that. Even if I'm the person on the table, I'm all for that.
Especially if you're the person on the table.
Right, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, man, I know when my partner Nate listens to this episode, he's just going to be kind of bummed out that he couldn't join us, because Nate, if you don't know, actually works as a designer for a company that designs integrated operating rooms. So that's the world that he lives and breathes in. And we've talked about it on previous episodes, how crucial 4K is in those sorts of environments. Like, I come from the high-end residential side, and 4K is in that realm, it's kind of a luxury. But when you start talking about things like medical, it becomes more of a necessity. So can you talk maybe about other verticals where you're kind of seeing 4K being adopted?
Yeah, absolutely. The medical industry obviously is very important for the 4K environment for a number of different reasons. The one of them is obviously surgery. The other one is X-rays, CTs, CAT scans, basically anything that's visualization. If you're trying to create an image of something that you can't actually see by hitting it with sound waves or something else and generating an image, the more detail or the higher resolution, the better chance you are of actually figuring out what's there. So medical industry, that seems pretty straightforward. The other industry that jumps out at everybody very, very rapidly and is actively adopting 4K is the oil and gas industry.
Oh, really?
Let's face it, it costs a whole bunch of money to poke a hole in the ground and see if there's oil or gas. The best you can do to figure out that you're poking in the right spot before you poke saves you millions, if not billions of dollars. So indeed, in the oil and gas industry, the visualization component of looking underground or visualizing what's underground before you go digging for oil is very, very important in that industry.
Yeah, that's a really cool example. It makes perfect sense. Actually, never had really thought of that example before. I have an old college friend actually who works in that sort of field in, I guess, exploratory oil drilling.
Right.
And so he's analyzing images, and I'm just familiar casually from conversation with him on how technical that can get. So I'm sure having that extra resolution in that field is also hugely important. So obviously 4K is a big deal. We're seeing more and more of it even make its way into residential. I saw one other thing, you guys. It looks like you're going to be talking about probably at Infocomm, and that is the Crestron 4K certification program. And I thought that was interesting. So maybe you can talk a little bit about what that program entails and kind of what it hopes to accomplish.
Sure. So from the Crestron side of the world, I guess the beauty of 4K, from everybody else's side of the world, the torture of 4K is almost identical, but not exactly identical, to the transition that we made from analog to digital. Mm-hmm. When we made the transition from analog to digital, nothing seemed to work right. ED-ID tables and all other kinds of, nothing really synced from one to the other. There were some requirements, there were some tests that people did to make sure that one was compliant with the other. Everything kind of settled into the 1080p world by the time it was done. But as we move into the 4K world, we have the same problem. We have two different resolutions. We have ultimately a bunch of ED-ID differentiators that arrive. And the second part of it is there is no qualifier or definition that says, I made a source, it puts out this signal, and this TV receives it with a cable that's 30 foot in between or 20 foot in between. Mm-hmm. So there are specifications as to what is 4K, and there are multiples of them. And you can make a device that can receive one of them or all of them, and you can be a 4K device. Nobody says you have to test or be compatible with all, some, or none. So what we said was, you know what? As a leader in the industry, because we started realizing not everything works with everything else, let's get in the middle. Let's go ahead and test every source from every manufacturer. Let's test all the displays from all the display manufacturers, and that's going to bring us two things at the same time. The first thing it's going to bring us is it's going to bring us, the industry, the ability to know what works with each other. So the idea of Crestron Certified, we can say, you get this TV, you plug it in with digital media, it's going to work every time. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to hope it's going to work. You know it's going to work. You're good and ready to go. Same thing with the sources coming in on the other side. The second side of that is if we do have a display manufacturer or source manufacturer that doesn't work all the time in all the situations, it gives us the opportunity to reach out to those other manufacturers and say, hey, we're starting to see these problems, or we see these issues with your product, and give them the opportunity to go ahead and correct some stuff and align it so that ultimately they are making products that are going to work in the market as well. So obviously, many manufacturers have gotten on board with this. They see this as a great testing opportunity. There is no third-party independent testing solution out there for 4K. So most everybody sends us their stuff. There are some people that, let's face it, our industry doesn't align with their industry. They don't understand us, know us. I don't want to say care about us, but don't understand us or know us. We don't affect what they do in the marketplace. Probably the most notable, just because of who they are, is Apple. Apple's going to make displays. They're going to make a 15-inch, laptop that makes 1880 by 2088 out of its port natively, and they're not going to send us one to say, hey, can you certify this? Now the good news is we know that. We're going and we're sourcing all those components from the manufacturers that can or won't supply them, because we know those kind of sources need to be tested. And laptops are a great example of that. And that leads us to one of the next big problems within the 4K environment are what we here at Crestron like to call the tweeners. They're not quite 4K. They're in between 2K and 4K, but a standard 2K HDMI switch or a 1080p switch will not handle the resolution. The problem is they're really, 1660 by 1200, all these different little resolutions that are popping up, 3200 by 1800, for example. Lots of different laptops are coming out with these higher resolutions, but not as high as 4K. They all need to be addressed. They all need to be looked at, because at the end of the day, let's face it, when the executive walks in with his brand new MacBook Air, if he plugs it into that HDMI connector or whatever connector that's on the tabletop, and his monitor shrinks or freaks out or does something crazy or lowers the resolution in order to put it up on the display in the conference room, it's your head. So we have to be ready for those kind of things, and we have to be building to the 4K infrastructure, because even if he's not the cool guy today carrying that new MacBook, he will be tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely.
And those are the things everybody's got to be ready for.
Yeah, I think it's great. In past episodes, Nate and I have talked extensively about just the world of kind of HDMI in general, EDID, HDMI issues, all that sort of thing we've covered before. And obviously, it's one of those things that for a lot of integrators is really maddening. And for end users, it's very frustrating as well, because, they come in, they spend a ton of money, whether it's a Crestron DM or, a competitor's solution. And unfortunately, sometimes all of this just feels a little bit like a dark art, is what I usually call it. And clients don't really want to or need to understand all of the ins and outs of that, and I wouldn't expect them to. That's what we're here for. But I think what you guys are doing with this initiative is great, and whatever, anything that Crestron can do to try and make life easier for us as integrators is definitely appreciated and noticed. So I commend you guys for that. It seems like a big initiative. So it sounds to me like it's kind of something you guys are undertaking, and are you actively reaching out to manufacturers and asking them to send displays and sources your way, or is this sort of something you guys are undergoing on your own accord?
Oh, no, absolutely. We're reaching out to all the manufacturers. We've got all kinds of stuff coming in. As a matter of fact, not less than 30 days ago, we paid electricians to put in custom power into our DM lab so we could power some of these three-phase projectors, because some of the 4K projectors that are used in digital cinema, for example, are running 208 and 240 and all kinds of different crazy power sources. So we incurred the expense of adding those power sources to the DM lab just to be able to handle them, so we can test everything.
Great. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And so as this program sort of matures and develops, is this something that as an integrator, like if I'm designing, or maybe I'm a consultant and I'm specifying a DM system, Will this be something that I kind of go to the Crestron website and look up a specific component to see if it's been Crestron certified, or kind of how will that process work?
Yeah, there are a number of different processes. The easiest one is you'll go to the Crestron website and you'll look and see if the device is Crestron certified, and if it's got the certified, if it's on the certified list, you know it's good to go. There will be a published document that goes along with the certification that tells you in detail exactly what we tested and confirmed operated and didn't operate. So if there was a special subset feature, let's say you wanted to be using consumer electronics or CEC control with the all-in-one on command, you'll know that we've tested that, and those kind of things are also operating in there or not operating in there. So there's a document produced with each test, so you can see the results of the test and know exactly what it is, what it does and doesn't do if you want to drill to that level to make some of those decisions. The other thing that we're doing is we're supplying to the people that pass the test our appropriate logos and indicators. So in a lot of cases, what's going to happen is you're going to get a spec sheet from a projector manufacturer or flat panel manufacturer, and right on that spec sheet it'll have the Crestron certified logo, so you know that one's already been through testing and you're good to go with it. They'll place it on their website, so as you're looking at their documents, you know it's already tested and good to go.
That's great. Yeah. Again, I really commend you guys for undertaking that, and wish you the best of luck on that initiative moving forward. One more thing I kind of wanted to ask about.
I will tell you, it's going very well right now.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it is. So I'll be keeping an eye on it moving forward. I wanted to ask just one more question about DM, and then we can kind of move on, because I know there's plenty of other stuff you guys are going to unveil and show at Infocomm. But in our world right now, what's going on a lot is that we're seeing deployed systems that were sold, even a year ago, where clients now are already starting to ask about 4K. So can you sort of talk? I mean, you kind of touched on it briefly, but sort of what's the process for if you've got a DM system that was deployed maybe a year or 2 years ago that's not 4K? What kind of bits and pieces? What are you looking at to get that system upgraded to 4K compatibility?
Okay, so we don't even have to restrict ourselves to a year ago. We can go all the way back to the first digital media DM 8x8 switch ever shipped, and that chassis is already 4K compatible. It's ready to go. Obviously, the inputs were not 4K at the time. The outputs were not ready to be 4K at the time. And, of course, any room boxes you have, those kind of things, were not ready to be 4K at the time. So really all you would have to do is, depending on the age and scenario of your system, you might have to change input cards. You'll have to change output cards and room boxes if you have any that are in the room. Pretty straightforward, all things being considered, rather than taking a whole chassis out. You get some distances that shorten up. We go from 100 meters on Cat 5 down to 50 meters, but you can get 70 meters out of DM cable. So it still puts us pretty close. You'll have to check your cable distances a little bit for some of those longer runs. But it's really just a matter of changing some cards. Don't even have to change a single thing in the program. You can swap all the cards out and the system is ready to go. So to make it even easier for somebody to make those transitions, we've done a couple of things. The first thing we've done is we've created a rebate program. So if you want to swap to 4K, we'll gladly basically buy back the old cards for you, or if you will, give you a discount on the new cards that are going in. So we'll swap them for you. So you send the old cards back so we can make sure they're recycled correctly and taken care of, and we'll give you a discount on putting all those new cards in. So even if you're not ready to put 4K TVs out there today, your infrastructure can be ready and upgraded, and all your cards and everything are ready to go. And then the second piece that we'll do, which is really the compelling factor to jump on this today and get it done, is if you convert your entire system to 4K capable today, we will restart the warranty on the switch up to 3 years. So if you still have an existing warranty, so you put in a system a year ago, you've used a year of that 3-year warranty, we'll restart that 3-year warranty for you again.
Oh, wow. That's great. I'm glad we brought this up. I think I have a couple phone calls I need to make to our Crestron rep, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. So it becomes a great thing for anybody who's got a system because now you can restart their warranty and get things going. It's also a great sales opportunity for anybody that's a dealer putting in Crestron systems. Here's a great opportunity to go back to your customer and say, now's the chance. There's a price discount, a warranty restart. You might as well do it now and get yourself upgraded, even if you're going to wait, a year or two before you get the display or whatever that goes on the other end.
Right. Yeah, and I think now's a great time to do it. Like I said, I mean, we're getting clients who are asking for 4K unsolicited, and we didn't really see that. Like I've said it before on previous episodes with something like 3D, for instance. I kind of feel like it was sort of this solution looking for a problem kind of deal, but 4K it seems to be really catching on, and people are asking for it. And so I think you're right. This is a great time to kind of push for that upsell, and it sounds like you guys are providing some incentives to do that. So I think that's great.
I really like to just, take things home in a lot of cases. So if you have the opportunity, if it's, your time to get a new computer, or really all you really need to do is get a new video card. These days on the market, there are a couple of Samsung and Dell both make 28-inch monitors that are 4K capable. They're roughly $700. I strongly recommend, especially if you're a designer, get one, get a new video card for your computer, put it on your desk, because what's going to happen is you can actually open a complete audiovisual flow diagram and read everything on the diagram without having to zoom or move in any way. And your life becomes so much easier just on your desktop.
Yeah,
and once
absolutely.
you truly experience the 4K detail that's available in front of you for $700, you will not only design 4K for everybody who needs it, you will really understand why everybody else is asking for it immediately.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think we've touched on DM enough. It's obviously a very exciting product. We love DM. We've had great results with it. So always excited to see more products developing in that family. But as far as other initiatives that you guys are, going to focus on at Infocomm or talk about, I know that for you guys, unified communication or UC is something that you're going to, I think, be focusing on at Infocomm. Can you maybe talk a little bit about, for people who may not be familiar with the concept of unified communication or UC, maybe just briefly, what that concept means and how Crestron is sort of positioned to help integrators leverage that market?
Sure. So we're going to bring a number of different solutions for what people refer to as the UC market. We're going to bring and demonstrate some solutions for what everybody refers to as the huddle space. It's really a local collaboration space where 4 to 6 people can get together and all share some content and work on some things and create some stuff at the same time. That's very popular, especially in the open office concepts of today, to build all these huddle spaces where people can go and gather around and talk about things. We're going to show our Smart Space solution, which is a video conferencing solution, so that we can remotely communicate with people at the other end. And that's we built that in a partnership with Cisco. So that's a Cisco Crestron solution that's pre-built, ready to go, so that no matter where you are in the world, if you buy a Smart Space system, the screens look the same, they operate the same way, and they can basically instantly connect to each other to take all that user interface questions out of the game. I can't see a picture, why can't you do? You call somebody, you call the help desk, they say, what room are you in? Well, if every room has the same look and feel, then everything can be consistent across the world, and large corporations are looking for that kind of solution. So Smart Space allows them to be consistent across the world, and it's all prepackaged and ready to go. And then for people that are using Microsoft Lync as their collaboration solution for remote collaboration rooms, we'll be showing Crestron RL that allows people to collaborate the same way they do on their desktop in their conference room or meeting room. And the RL collaboration solution not only involves video back and forth to see each other, sharing of documents, it allows remote control of documents from most of the participants in the call, and it allows annotation by all participants back and forth. So there's a real collaborative effort And it's really interesting to be able to have somebody on the remote side advance your PowerPoint, for example, or advance a PowerPoint that you created because they wanted to go back a slide, so they just back it up, or they take control in their portion of the class or the meeting. So we have a lot of things under the UC banner that all come together, and it really depends on whether you're collaborating locally, video conferencing to multiple people around the world, or collaborating in a conference room where you would normally be collaborating off your desktop solution.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, I come from the residential side of things, so I don't have a ton of experience with UC, but it's interesting because we're starting to see more demand for it in residential. Especially we work in some larger homes and for kind of high-level executives and people like that. And I think just because the nature of work is changing for a lot of people, and a lot of people now aren't tethered to an office the way they used to be, so you can get work done from home or you can get work done from the coffee shop. That mobility is really coming into play. So we're actually now on the residential side having people sort of ask us for, video conferencing solutions for their home office and things like that.
Absolutely. Even me, the certainly not the executive guy. I do a monthly conference call with all my international marketing reps, and one of those calls occurs at 8 o'clock at night, because that's when they're waking up. Actually, I make the guys in India get up very early to be on that call. But that's the way it is. You got to be able to talk to those people. You got to be able to have conversations. You got to show them what you're working on. I do that call from my house on my laptop on a regular basis with my little headset on and my link system calling away.
Yeah. And you're right. I said high-level executives, but I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not just them. It's becoming more and more common just for everyday people. So I think that UC is an exciting concept overall.
And I'm sitting in my house making my call, trying to keep the dog from barking in the background, because those are now the things that come up, right? But at the same time, my guys in Australia are sitting in a conference room getting their coffee, and I can see them, and I'll wave to them, and away we go, and we do our thing.
Yeah, definitely. So UC kind of ties in with collaboration, obviously, and working together in groups, which I think kind of dovetails nicely with education. And I know you guys are pushing for this concept of a collaborative classroom. And again, as somebody who works mostly in residential, I don't deal with that space often. So maybe for the benefit of listeners who may be in a similar position to me, maybe you can talk a little bit about just Crestron's general fit in the education landscape and kind of how you guys are positioned to help integrators leverage that market.
Sure. So this is a little twofold question. So the first, I'm going to take down the simple road, since we're talking about Infocomm in particular. So one of the things that we are showing at Infocomm is a brand new solution that we've come up with, which is basically the integrated classroom. So the problem is, in today's world, just as you said, there are all these crazy things. There are collaborative classrooms. There are large auditoriums. There are so many unique learning environments that are being created today. There is no way that any one AV person at a university, or even one dealer supporting a university, could absolutely keep track with everywhere in every room that things need to get put in. So it's just too much too often. So what we did was we took our DMPS 100 as the framework, and we made a very basic classroom system. We tie it in with our 7-inch touch panel, our TSW 750, and we pre-program the whole thing, so there's no programming involved in the system at all. You literally go to the touch screen, and on the touch screen, you go through a list and you pick the monitor or projector that you have. You pick your sources, you name them appropriately, you add the icons. So in 10 minutes, your system can be configured and ready to go. And the idea is, because you're installing 50, 100, 300 of these general rooms, you want to get these built and installed and deployed as fast as possible, because your real time needs to be spent on all these new custom applications that are coming in, the big auditoriums, the other spaces, the collaborative classroom designs that people are asking you to create. So you can't have time to do that if every classroom that gets built, or every classroom that's out there, has to have some type of technology, and we all know that it does. So the interactive classroom concept is prepackaged, pre-built system, no programming. All you do is basically tell it what monitor you got right from the touch screen, and off and away it goes. We'll be showing that in Infocomm in a very big way for everybody. Really nice system. Students can come in and connect and use their tablets and their phones to present, or instructors as well as wired connections. So lots of different solutions wrapped around that integrated classroom with the DMPS 100. Now, in addition to that, yes, when you go to the custom side of things, there is a lot of conversation on the collaborative classroom. I know over the last 2-3 years, many universities have built collaborative classrooms, either as trial classrooms or they're actually using them in their space. And the basic concept, or the basic requirement that drives what's called the collaborative classroom, is something called the flipped learning concept. And this is a concept where you actually, because all the students these days have electronic access to something. They have a phone, they have a tablet, they have a computer. So the instructors actually go and record their lectures ahead of time and send the students the lectures and say, watch these lectures before you come to class. So rather than going to class and having a lecture and then being told you have to go do an assignment, you three guys are grouped together, go work on your homework and come on back and present something. They send the students the lectures. The students watch the lectures ahead of time, and then when they arrive in the classroom, the students are put together in group to work on their homework assignments, if you will, which is why the term is flipped learning, because they're doing their homework in the classroom and they're actually watching a lecture at home.
Ah, interesting.
Right. So now the teacher can interact when the students are interacting, when they're working on their projects, when they're creating their things. And, I'm old, so when I went to school, we had to build little dioramas, and, we had to go over to our friend's house and get little things and do all that kind of. In today's world, it's all about, I got something on my iPad, you got something on your iPad. So it becomes these, in essence, a series of huddle rooms all in the same space where students can all get together and share content between each other in their own little station. But then at some point they have to present their work and be able to show it to the entire group. The teacher needs to be able to moderate and interrupt anybody at any time and send new assignments over. So it's a whole new design in how a room is actually built, which is kind of exciting. And it's good for certainly the audiovisual industry because it's nice and challenging, and we have a lot of stuff to do. It involves a lot of technology to get it built. But because the way learning is changing, the design is changing, it really brings technology to the forefront of the classroom rather than the background or the supporting part of the classroom. So yeah, we're very excited about the collaborative classroom concept, and there are many schools that have built some really nice collaborative classrooms, and we'll have some great video demonstrations of some of the people that have built classrooms, for example. We showed a couple last year. We have a couple of new ones coming this year. We also have something called the A+ Partner Breakfast, where all the university members are going to come together, and we're going to give them some examples, and we're going to talk a lot about how to build collaborative classrooms for them and all the latest technology we have positioned. So if you are part of the A+ community and you haven't signed up, reach out to your appropriate Crestron A+ liaison. We'll get you signed up, or I guess you could send me an email, and I'll get you the right person.
Yeah, definitely. And if you have a link or anything you want us to put up in the show notes at avshoptalk.com, we'll definitely do that as well. Want to encourage involvement in that.
Actually, because I don't want to exclude anyone, what I'll do is I'll send you a link to what's called our information center or our info center, and that way everybody can go and find the classes that are right for them, including my new technology showcase class, if you'd like.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you guys probably have other things, lots of other things that you're showing at Infocomm, but we're kind of running up against our time here, and I want to get to one thing that I think, if we're honest with ourselves, is extremely important to all of our listeners, and that is the Crestron party. I know it's the stuff of legend at Infocomm, so maybe you can give us a little bit of a teaser here on AV Shop Talk as to what we can expect from the Crestron party. Is it going to be the talk of Infocomm again, or what do you guys have planned?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We make a valiant effort to always top ourselves, so to speak. So this year it's Brian Stetzer, the lead singer from the Stray Cats, and he's bringing a complete orchestra with him. So we're going to do some hip hop, Billy rock. It's going to be a great jumping jam time. There's no doubt about it. And then, as everybody knows, the pre-party is always an event in itself. And as we did 2 years ago, that's going to be at the poolside at the Palms. So be ready to take your shoes off and dip your feet in the pool, as many people did 2 years ago.
Yeah, very nice. And what night? Just for the benefit of people listening, what night and time are these events?
The big party is Thursday night. I know tickets are all taken up, but don't let that scare you necessarily, or though it probably should. If you go to the Crestron booth, you can ask to be put on a waiting list, and anybody that doesn't pick up their tickets or decides they don't want to attend I forget the exact time, but like 3:00 on Thursday, they start calling people's cell phones and saying, "Do you still want those tickets?" Yeah. So there is an opportunity to grab some if you want, but I know all the requests, everybody who wanted a ticket were sold out, unfortunately.
Yeah, no surprise there. So I'm sure it'll be a great party. I'm sure Infocomm is going to be a great show. I know it always is. Again, I'll be watching from afar, but I'll be on Twitter kind of checking things out and keeping a pulse on things. So just wanted to thank you again for taking the time to come on AV Shop Talk with us and just kind of chat Crestron and chat Infocomm. And I hope you enjoy the show. And just for our listeners, if they wanted to reach out to you or get in touch with you directly with any questions, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Best way is always my email. It's on pretty much all the time. It's the one place I'm always looking. So it's D Silberstein. It's SILB as in boy, ERSTEIN @Crestron.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn if you want to go that way. I'm there all the time as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Dave. Appreciate you again taking the time to come on, and have a great time out there at Infocomm.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, everybody. Glad to have the time talking to you.
All right, take care. All right, so that sums up the conversation with Dave. What did you think, Nate?
Yeah, it was great to hear a little bit about a little sneak peek about the Crestron booth, and in particular the Crestron after party.
Yes, the stuff of legend. I hear it's a great party every year, and sounds like this year will be no exception to that. So hopefully you can get a chance to stop by. Yeah,
I'm definitely going to stop by. This is my first year being at Infocomm. I am very excited to be getting out there finally. And, I got pictures of my mug plastered all over social media. So if you're out there in Vegas and you recognize me, I'm a friendly dude. Just come up and say hello. I'd be happy to meet you.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're going to have a great time out there. It sounds like Chris and Josh and the guys over at Red Band, AV Shout, that crew over there, it sounds like they have some fun things planned as well. So
they got the AV tweet up going on on Wednesday at 4:30, I believe.
Yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. And again, man, I'm just jealous. I wish I could be out there. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I'm going to try to tweet and maybe even get the Vine thing going to send you some little 6-second sneak peeks of what's going on. But I have to check out the legality of that, and they might not appreciate having smartphones videotaping new technology. So I'll have to look into that and make sure it's on the up and up. But hopefully get some tweets out at least.
Yeah, if you can get some pictures or videos up, it would be nice. It'd be great for those of us. There's lots of other people like me who are stuck watching from a distance. So, the more you can put out there, the better.
The two hashtags you got to look forward to are obviously Infocomm, hashtag Infocomm14 and hashtag AV selfie. That's going to be the hashtag of this show.
That's going to be the big one this year.
Yeah, everybody's going to be taking selfies of themselves all over the place.
Yeah, that's
or
a great
it'll just be me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys get some participation on that. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, hopefully people enjoyed the show, took a little bit from it. This was kind of a special edition for us, so we wanted to get this out before Infocomm, and there's a lot of energy around the show right now. So hopefully people have a great time out there. If you enjoyed the show, or of course any of the other episodes, we would definitely love if you stop by the website at avshoptalk.com. Show notes will be up there. Also, leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you. Let us know how we're doing.
Yeah, and just so you guys know too, if you go to avshoptalk.com/episode 5, that'll take you right to the show notes of this episode.
Yes, indeed. And also, of course, we're on Twitter at AV Shop Talk. So give us a follow over there. And lastly, if you're enjoying the show, take 5 minutes, head over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. We would really, really appreciate it. So thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. This podcast is produced independently by Jason and myself. Voiceover talent was provided by John Perry. Musical contributions coming from Colin Owens.
AV Shop Talk.